If you're someone who deals with feeling toxic and feeling like you do not know how to love the person properly that you're with, this video is for you. I've been doing a lot of studying on how to not be a toxic spouse, and I'm actually a toxic spouse myself. I claim that all the time. I tend to feel like all my relationships can tend to be toxic when it comes to how I do things. However, I know that it's up to me on how I choose to do things, so I'm making that change today. And if you're someone who wants to make that change, then this video is for you. My name is Harleen Queenzell. Please like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification button to let you know when I'm posting any more videos. I am not someone who posts daily yet. I'm not gonna lie, I post a video every once a week. I try to do it. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's not the best thing to be doing right now with how much I really want to be doing this as my living. If I can be honest, that's really it. So let's just get on to it. Let's stop being toxic. Let's learn how to get out of the toxicity, whatever they want to call it. Let's stop being toxic.
Good.
When it comes to not being toxic, the first thing that I can say is if you clicked on this video to watch it, you're someone who already is coming into that process of wanting to be better for yourself. So you can give yourself congratulations for that one, because usually people don't have the awareness that they're being this way. If you're aware that you're being this way and you don't want to be this way, but you don't know how to not be this way, this is a great step, because I am someone who's done a lot of homework when it comes to not being toxic. And the first thing the first thing you can do when it comes to making that shift is learning from my mistakes, guys. Like, I learned that when it comes to being toxic, you have to own your rights. Like, you have to own everything you've done wrong. You cannot sit back and be like, no, I didn't do that. If you're someone who's hurt people, be honest about it. Own up to that. Don't sit back and just be like, I didn't do nothing, because at the end of the day, you did do something, because there's a reason why people don't want to be around you. And that reason is because of how you treat others and how you treat yourself. So it's like, we need to stop doing this, guys. We both do, me and you both. And when it comes to yeah, like when it comes to things that I would prefer for us to do for ourselves is be with yourself for a while. I know that it's something that you may not want to hear, but being with yourself and realizing who you are by just looking back at how you treated others or how you treated yourself, you need to make it known on who you are right now, so you can know what you want to change. If you don't know who you are right now, then you're always going to be stuck doing the same thing. And this is not something that you have control over, because the mind is like a computer. And if you do something for a long enough time, then that muscle is going to take in that activity and it's going to use that as a normal basis. It's going to become its normal. It's going to become its own habit. That's the mindset. And I'm learning that the mind has waves, brain waves, so when we're watching TV, we tend to be in the theta mindset, and theta mindset is when we can program the most. And that's why it's very important for us to watch things that bring our hopes up and bring our this is one thing I need to bring out. When it comes to TV, I do not understand this. I watch kids shows, SpongeBob, cartoons, anything that makes me feel bright and colorful. And when I go to adult contents, it's very dark and suffering, and I don't really understand that. Like, it's either sex or violence or killing, drugs, all that stressful stuff. And it makes me see now why all these adults in our world have programming of not knowing how to get the fuck out of their problems. Sometimes people will choose to struggle, because everything in life is a choice. And sorry to say it, but we all choose struggle. We all do. We choose anger, we choose sadness, we choose struggle. But then when we realize it's time to be better, we turn into this poison positivity person, where we will push away the struggle and then be positive, and only be positive. Let me just get y'all on this understanding. This is a human life. This is a human world. If you're someone who either is too negative or too positive, you're not balanced. You're not. Because there's negative and there's a positive, and that is the balance of this world. Sorry to say. There's going to be times where we don't feel okay, and there's going to be times we do feel okay. It's just in the times we don't feel okay, we cannot grasp that so much, if that makes sense. We tend to hold on to the bad more than the good. We'll forget the good over the bad, and that's something we all need to change when it comes to being toxic people. I tend to, like, for example, I'm moved out of my old home into a new home, and this new home that I'm living in takes time to get comfortable. I'm not comfortable. This is not my home. This is my sister's place, and I'm staying with her and to get my stuff together. I'm not someone who's very what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not independent yet. I'm not independent at all. I can own that now because I have a problem with working. I have a problem with consistency. I'm learning my consistency as I walk through, but I don't have shame in owning this person because I'm starting to get to know who I am as a bad human being. Well, I wouldn't say a bad human being, but who I am as a troubled human being, because usually people that tend to be bad, they're morely just troubled. They're stuck in their mind and they don't know how to act right. And it's not really a act right situation, but when we tend to get stuck in our mind, we tend to act a little bit immature, a lot of bit like we will not understand anything. We can't comprehend or communicate or be mature enough to do certain things, and that's what this world is turning into. All that suffering and pain, I'm trying to cut it loose. I'm only here today to help you not be toxic. I only want to help those people that see the toxicity in themselves and don't want to be toxic anymore. The first step is acknowledge yourself. Acknowledge who you are as a toxic person and accept that for what you have done. Accept it, because acceptance is the step to healing. It may not feel good, but we cannot neglect parts of ourselves that we don't agree with. If we neglect parts of ourselves that we don't agree with, then we're only going to continue to feel that part of ourselves. It's never going to go anywhere. If we neglect it, it's only going to push yourself down. One thing I've learned about the human body is if the brain doesn't agree to it, then it's most likely going to get stored in the body. And that's why we deal with heartache, and that's why we deal with pains in our bodies, because we are letting some of our emotions get stored into the body. And it's very important for us to understand the human mind, body, and soul. That's why I'm here. But I genuinely want to do it small baby steps at a time. And right now I'm only here for toxic things. Yeah. Sorry, I'm really not feeling myself. Like, if I can be honest, I feel very insecure talking about this stuff. But when it comes to acknowledging yourself, that's really a great thing that you've done so far. So acknowledging yourself is the first step. And when you acknowledge yourself, you write this stuff down. You write this stuff down and you look at it on paper so you can see what you've been doing and what you want to change. And you can even substitute that stuff by, okay, this is what I did wrong, but this is what I'd rather do right. Okay, this is what I did and I'm not okay with that, but I'm going to do this instead. And that stuff is not going to, as soon as you put it down on paper, it's not going to just come into you, but you're going to feel this better part of you being happy about it, because it's like, oh, you're making a change and you're not scared anymore. This change is not going to be comfortable. This change is not going to be easy. And this change is not going to happen overnight. You have to be patient and you have to be ready to make this shift. And when you make this shift, you're going to deal with a lot of your old self trying to attack you. This is where you become your own worst enemy, because that toxic person that you stop giving to others is going to start coming to yourself. You're going to start becoming that toxic human being to yourself. Like, you're not going to be someone that you like. You're not going to like yourself for a long time. And this is probably going to make you a little suicidal and stuff like that. However, that's not something you need to focus on, because we are more than our thoughts. And our thoughts are just, honestly, our thoughts are just things that we have picked up from past lives or even just childhood. Like, we have a very strong mindset. It's a computer mind. And when it comes to quieting the mind, meditation is my first thing to give to you. If you deal with this very toxic person inside that don't know how to not be bothered, judgmental, or mean as hell, the best thing to do in that situation, this is number 2, if you catch yourself in a situation, what I just did there. Stop, take a breath, and realize something. Is this worth getting overly mad about? Or is it worth sitting back and really collecting my thoughts and seeing the way I'm perceiving something? If you're perceiving something negative, try and switch that over. Yes, this may not feel good. However, this is what I want to feel instead. I'm not going to worry about this because this is not something that's something I can control. We cannot control the outside world. We only control our inner world. And if you want a better life, you have to change that inner world inside before you can see a better life on the outside. I'm doing that as we speak, guys. I'm not someone who's perfect on this. I'm just someone who's done a lot of research. And I want to let people know that if you want to change, It starts with you. It does not start with anyone else. It starts with just you and yourself. What are you going to be in this world when it comes to being part of this world and putting better parts of this world? Because this world is very toxic right now because we filled it with toxins. We are the people that have caused all this wrong to this world. And this world wants us to give back. That's why we're here on this planet, because we're all here for a purpose. And that purpose is to unite and better ourselves in the process of this life. No, we're not going to be born with the knowledge, but they do like to say that we're born with the understanding of what we're supposed to do in this world. It's just throughout the times of getting older, sometimes if we've grown up in a very non-pleasant home, then it will most likely be us taking in that information like computers would. Kids aren't really that, their kids are really innocent, so they can't help what they're around, you know? And when you are around stuff that really hurts you and really makes you feel some type of way, you tend to hold it inside your body. And that's why I keep touching my chest, because it's like when kids are young, they take it inside their brain, and if they don't know what to do with it, they store it in their bodies. And then they run out their whole entire life like that. They become this adult, and they are still feeling that same pain from kid times. And a lot of us adults don't realize that because we're so caught up in being an adult. We're like, we can't go back. It's the past. Don't go back. It's just the past. But the past is actually something we needed to see sometimes, because how can you actually let go and forgive the past if your brain's constantly showing you things that have to do with your past? We cannot control our brains. They're just computers. And our brains are always going to show us things that they want us to heal or they want us to get rid of. Our brain is like it's like a baby. It's like a kid. It really is. It's never gonna really listen. It's never really gonna do right. But we have to teach it that, because it's a muscle. And if you want to be skinny, you have to take your time with that. If you want to get this type of look in your body, you have to take your time with that. So just like when it comes to the brain, if you really want to become a better human being, you have to take your time with that. And it starts with acknowledging the fact that you've done things that are wrong, apologizing, or to yourself or to the person that you feel done it, well, to the person that you feel you've done it to. And then when it comes to writing this stuff down and seeing how you've been to yourself, like I said, this is when you start becoming your worst enemy. Because when you start seeing the stuff that you've done to yourself, you're not going to necessarily agree with it. But that's the beauty of things. That's the beauty of change. If you don't agree with what you're doing now, but you acknowledge what you're doing now, it makes it easier on your behalf to change it, because you know now what you don't want and now what you do want, instead of picking stuff that you don't even have awareness of. It's so important to be aware and mindful, because if you're not aware and mindful, then you might as well just call yourself miserable. If you don't see what your thoughts are doing, if you don't see what your body's doing, if you don't see what you are doing, you're most likely going to be miserable in your life. If you don't even know yourself, you're going to be miserable in your life. This is not something to harm you. This is not something to hurt you. This is just something to wake you up, because this world is not something that's going to be, this world is not something that's going to put it in your face all the time. Mother Nature will show you what she can do, but she don't do it in a way of, hey, wake up. Sometimes she would, but she morely would do it in a way of repeating. She will repeat your life to you. She will show you that everything stays the same until you make that change. And I'm trying to show you that I'm that person. I'm living proof of that. I had to get a nice good slap in the face when it came to, I was living with my boyfriend for 16 years, not 16. I was living with my boyfriend for 6 years, and me and him had to split across because we came together in a very negative aspect. We were both negative people, and I think we were both toxic to one another. And after that, me and him had to pretty much fix what we broken. We've had a lot of fights and stuff like that, and we weren't the most perfect relationship, but we really knew that we wanted each other. We still want each other to this day. It's just the principle of fixing the foundation that we broke. And we cannot do that side by side right now. We cannot. And if you're someone who's in a relationship and you want to do better by yours, the best thing to do is acknowledge how you treat them, own your shit, be able to have a conversation, because when it comes to relationships, you cannot be going back and forth with this screaming match. You cannot be you. How about I feel, and then you continue going. And before you continue going, you can mention that you're not trying to start shit. You're just trying to put it out there that this is not something that's cool to you. And if you can do that, then the most likely you're going to diffuse any fires that are going to be started in a relationship. But if you have someone who's most likely not going to listen to you, then you know what to do. I gotta say this. When you feel that feeling inside that you're not going to be with this person for the rest of your life, don't do it. You have to really want this person for the rest of your life, and don't want this person out of, what's the word I'm looking for? Attachment. Don't be attached. Because I'm learning how to detach from my relationship. I was very codependent with him, and he took care of me very well, and I didn't want to leave his side because I felt like what I was doing for him was protecting him. So it was just like I didn't want him to not be able to take care of me, and I also didn't want me to not be able to take care of him. It was just that I wanted to be able to be with each other, me and him. We had to learn the hard way that we are going to be together. However, we need to learn how to be with ourselves. And if you're someone in a relationship and you don't love yourself, then you can't love your partner the way you want to love your partner. This toxicity shit ain't no joke. And you have to go down deep within. It's not no look around you type stuff. It's a look within yourself. Look in the mirror, talk to yourself, and let yourself know that there's something not right here. You're not okay, but that's okay. Because now that you know you're not okay, you can work into being okay. I make it a goal that I want to be better. I make it my goal to get up, do stuff for myself that just helps me feel like I'm bettering myself, if that makes sense. Just what is the future self gonna thank me for today? I do a lot of things like meditation, yoga, qigong. Like these things that I do are very relaxing. They help me understand the body, not the mind, the body. Because I've dealt with my mind for years on end. I've been in my mind for years on end. Now I want to learn, how does my body speak to me? Because I've learned that the human body speaks in many different ways. You don't just hear the mind, but you can also hear the heart. You can also hear the organs. You can also hear everything when it comes to the body. So it's like I want to get closer to that side of me because I want inner peace. Do you really want to drop dead today and say that that's the life that you lived? Do you? Like, if you were to stop breathing right now, would you really say that you, like, live for yourself? You know? And that's something that I've been talking about myself a long time because it's like, if I'm not living for myself, then who am I living for? Because I cannot be living for everybody else. I have to live for myself. And if I'm not living for myself, then I'm not living. I'm just surviving. And I don't want that for anybody out here in this world to just survive. No. We deserve to be happy, every single last one of us, and we deserve to be loved and feel loved. And if you don't feel loved right now watching this video, it's mostly because of the life we grew up with. And it's no one else to blame but ourselves because guess what took it in? The mind. Just because someone wasn't nice to you, that doesn't mean you wasn't unloved. That just means that you didn't have the right thing around you. You chose the wrong things to be around. Only reason why we choose the wrong things is because we are programmed to want the wrong things sometimes. We are. When you grow up seeing love in another way, you take it as if that's the right thing. And sometimes it ain't the right thing, and no one's there to tell us if it's wrong or right. And no, there's really no wrong and right in anything, because if something happened bad to you, it's most likely a lesson that's going to be learned in it. And I learned that everything that happens to you, it happens for you, not to you. So it's like, this is not happening for you, or this is not happening to you, it's happening for you to learn and grow from. And if you can learn and grow from this, then the universe have bigger plans for you, for you. I'm talking too much, but I just want to let you guys know, like, this shit ain't no joke. If you don't want to be toxic no more, acknowledge yourself. See what you're doing. Journal it. Change it with the journaling. Put down what you want to become. And then slowly take baby steps into making that your reality. Because the angel, you're not alone. Sorry, I joked. The angels are watching you, and so is heaven and Mother Earth. We're all watching you, and all we need from you is for you to just believe in yourself and show yourself that you deserve to be loved regardless of what's going on around you, because nothing around you is what influenced the beauty inside you. The beauty inside you was already within you when you were born. So it's like, when are we going to actually open our eyes and see that inner beauty instead of looking around us for some outer beauty? Because the world is not always cupcake and rainbows, but if you can find the beauty within, then you can actually see the beauty around you. We're not on the greener side of the grass right now, guys. We're not. It's time to go, though. It's time to go to the greener side, because we know what the negative brings. We know what the storm has. But have you ever really seen a rainbow? Yeah, that's random. But Think about it. 2020 was not good. 2021 was all like, I mean, some of us had like did, some of us didn't. It's just I can say that all 3 of the years though for me has not been fun. I can say I had fun moments, I had fun times, but most of the time my brain just destroyed me. Destroyed me. I was in a pattern for a very long time of negative ass shit that didn't really relate with me, negative ass stuff that didn't help me. And my way of letting you guys know that this stuff ain't no joke and this stuff can kill you is just know that this stuff is killer. This is killer. Like if you're someone who's constantly negative and constantly stressed out, it's not making you happy, right? Making you lash out, right? And making you suicidal. So it's like, is it really not killer when you constantly feel so unhappy and miserable that you're willing to take your own life? So it's just like I have a problem when it comes to how I see things. I see the bigger picture around things, and every time I'm around others, I can see their pain, and I don't like saying anything about it because it's not my place to be sitting here telling someone else what they're going through. It's just I can feel sometimes when somebody's not okay and they want to be okay, so they lie about it and put on these masks. That's what they call them, masks. And these masks tend to hide us, and it tends to store whatever emotion that we had before we put on that mask into our bodies. And that's what causes us to be toxic people, because we have so many stored emotions in our bodies. We have so much frustration, confusion, non-communication. We just completely, utterly a mess. We're just a mess. And we don't think about cleaning that stuff up, but we'll look around us and clean up that room. We'll look around us and clean up this. Like, clean up what's inside you, because that's what's important. What's important is what's inside you, because that's what gives us life. What's inside us. If we're giving our heart, our head, and our body negative things, do you really think it's going to keep this system running? This is a whole system, and we have to take care of it. Speaking of which, I need some water. Stay hydrated. And it's like, when it comes to just being a negative human being, you have to just realize, hey, I am that, and I'm willing to change it. I'm not the most positive person on earth right now, and I may not be positive tomorrow. I may not be positive the next day, but believe in yourself, never give up on yourself, and always remember that toxicness is just a temporary thing. And if love did not create these thoughts, then that thought does not exist, because love is the healing tool that we all need. And if you need some love, here I am to give you that. I'm not going to let you be here alone. However, I want to let you know that I'm here virtually. So, yeah, it may not be enough for you, but I want to let you know you're special. You're a calm soul. And I send healing energy to anyone who watches this, because you deserve it. You deserve that love and light, and you deserve miracles around you. You deserve to see that happiness every day you wake up. We all do, including me. I'm fighting for mine. Are you willing to fight for yours? Oh, if you like this video, please like, share, and comment, because that's about it. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really want to list it out, because I want you to find what makes you feel good about being a better person, because being a better person is not following in someone else's footsteps, it's following in the footsteps that your heart takes you to. So if your heart's telling you to do this, do that, then do it. But most likely, the heart's language is things that make you uncomfortable, because my heart told me to move away from my man. I was not comfortable with that, but I did it because I knew why. I knew what I was doing wasn't going to help me there, and what I was doing here can help me more. I hope I was able to help anybody. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and please fight for you, not me. Fight for you. The most I can use from you is that like and subscribe and share. Please. That's all I need. If I'm able to help you, that's really awesome. And go ahead and put down in the comments on what you feel like you're toxic about. Let me know. Don't have any shame in your game, because we're all toxic in our own way, shape, and form. It's just now it's time for us to own that negative side of us so we can get rid of it. If you're down, you know what to do.